Hey everybody, welcome to Yeah Buddy. If you can see around me, I am reporting in from Times Square, New York. Today I am meeting a friend. I am not parking my car. I'm meeting the car karaoke guy from Texas, and we're going to drive around New York. We're going to do a couple songs. I'm going to interview him. It's going to be a blast. So stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. Let's go do it. Welcome to Yeah Buddy. Here we are, New York City. We're downtown near Broadway, and I'm picking up the car karaoke guy from his hotel. He's about to step into this awesome Range Rover, and here he is. Come on in.
How are you?
Good. Come on in. Come on in. We're already rolling.
Thank you for picking me up
Yeah,
at
of course.
the hotel.
Yeah, anytime. Happy to pick you up.
So
Here we are.
this is just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, Times Square and Broadway, and I it's just overwhelming. And I posted a video this morning, or actually last night, of me being in Times Square. Well, it was probably 1 a.m.
Yeah.
and it just exploded.
That's when it just starts getting hot. Yeah.
Well, the video on Instagram exploded.
Oh, wow.
So, anyway, I kind of mentioned in one of my videos that I'm going to do a double dog dare to see if you will wear a hat.
I will
You wear
wear a hat.
hats.
I wear hats all the time.
You do wear hats.
Yeah.
So, I got you this very special cowboy hat from Texas. So,
Well, I love Texas.
I double dog dare you to at least
I love
put it
football.
on.
I will put it on. It looks like a very nice hat, and
is.
I cannot turn it down.
Oh,
I'm a
it's-
Vikings fan, true and true, and I like. It looks good on
Actually,
me.
you look good in it.
It looks good on me.
It looks good.
It looks even better now.
Yeah. Well, listen. I don't know sports. I
Yeah.
don't know. But anyway, I cringed a little bit to buy it because I just don't know. I mean, the Cowboys are great, I guess, but I don't know sports. But I had to do this. So
Well, it's all good. It's a wonderful. It looks pretty good. But you know what? We're in New York City. We're in New York City, and so this is just, it's got to go. But we do have something else that we can do. We've got some of this going on.
okay.
And if
Well,
you'd wear that,
We are, yes, we are in your town, and I want to be respectful of that.
Excellent.
So how does it?
just like that. That looks good.
Okay.
Now, hey,
Now I'm like a New Yorker.
I'm in New York.
I'm in New York.
As Dana Carvey would say, I got a gun. Let's go to a Broadway show.
Speaking of Broadway,
Yeah.
so we're very close.
We're
very close to Broadway.
Yeah, so we got Waitress here, 6, a couple different shows. We're driving down on one of the side streets, which is where typically all the theaters are. They're not on Broadway, they're typically off Broadway, which is funny because off Broadway is typically represent a smaller show. You can see on the right a big line of people waiting for Waitress.
So it's just amazing to see all of these buildings and the lit buildings and the sun. So, oh my God, where are we right now?
We are driving through Rockefeller Plaza right now. We have the Today Show that films over there. We got the big ice skating rink, Top of the Rock, FAO Schwartz, the Rainbow Room.
Oh, whoa, FAO. I've got to go to the toy
Let's stop.
So, yeah, buddy. Okay, we just passed FAO Schwartz. Where are we?
We are in Rockefeller Plaza. We are next to the Rainbow Room, FAO Schwartz, where the giant Christmas tree is, this ice skating rink, everything on the east side.
So we're going into the store.
We're going into the store.
Awesome.
Yes.
I saw like a toy man, or what is it? What is it? A soldier.
There's a guy that gets paid to stand outside the store, and I think we should probably talk to him.
I think we should go talk to him right now.
So let's go talk to him.
Car karaoke guy.
Well, thank you
Happy
for
to have you here in New York.
Where
Thank
are
you.
we?
No problem.
FAO Schwartz.
We are at FAO Schwartz,
Excellent.
America's oldest toy store.
It
Come
is.
on in, let's play.
Let's
All right.
go.
Thank you so much.
Man, that toy soldier really convinced us to go inside FAO Schwartz. But in the end, we decided to hop back in the Land Rover because there was nothing for us to really buy there that we were interested in, and go off to breakfast.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Hey, Angie would like for us to sing Copacabana for her today. Hey, Angie, what's your favorite song?
Copacabana.
Oh my gosh, well, I know that song. Her name is Angie. She was a showgirl with yellow feathers in her hair and a dress get down in there. So do you know the car karaoke guy of Texas?
I love my husband, love it.
Oh, well, thank you. Well,
Thank you.
we're at Tribeca Restaurant here. And thank you so much. You were wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks to you. You guys have a nice one.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. All right.
Our karaoke guy in Texas. Welcome to Yeah Buddy. Tell me, I usually ask folks a little bit about themselves, so if you can tell me a little bit about you and what your social media channels are about. Usually I have YouTubers on, but you're a little bit special, and that you've exploded on Instagram and on TikTok, so I want to hear a little bit more about your channel.
So, if you pass the cream
Yeah,
and sugar
let's
first.
do cream and sugar
Yeah,
first.
cream and sugar first.
It is
So-
a need.
So, a few months ago, my best friend said, "Let's get out of town and go to Cabo." And
That's in Jersey, right? Cabo, Jersey?
No, Cabo San Lucas, and let's just get away. And I said, "Oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great." We stayed in that resort, and I saw they had a karaoke bar, and I decided we decided to go out that first night, and I thought, well, let me see if I can do this. I did it a little bit before. I'm really this reserved and shy guy. I was until some life experiences happened.
Yeah.
And now I'm living life, and so we did this. I've got video that I'll send to you.
Okay.
That someone took.
B-roll.
That someone took of basically the crowd went nuts, and I was singing Neil Diamond's "Sweet Caroline."
Okay. How about that? It's crowd pleaser.
And it wasn't. It was. There were no words up because I already had the tracks made.
Mm-hmm.
I already had the tracks made, and they used them.
How did you get him to use it?
Well,
Because whenever I
Give a
feel
little
like
tip.
if I were in Cabo, if I went somewhere, every time I've done karaoke, you're like, I want to sing X, Y, and Z, and they're like, sure, buddy. Let's put you at the end of the list.
There's a list. Well, Cabo was just opening up, and they
Yeah.
were so excited to see folks. So, but the resort was so great, and of course, I tipped the karaoke guy,
Yep.
and so I sent him the tracks, and then he called me up, and I had to make sure that I remembered the words.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were no words up. Usually in a karaoke bar, you have the words.
Yep.
And then maybe later today, you and I will sing Sweet
I
Caroline.
would do Sweet Caroline,
All right.
absolutely.
All right.
I
So
love that
if you're
tune.
up for the challenge.
Wait for it. We'll have it on later.
But I'm in New York, so I must sing some songs.
Yeah.
So it's early in the morning here, so my voice is a little raspy. So I need some coffee here.
Yeah, it's nothing coffee can't cure. But so while you're taking a step, so you're in Mexico, Cabo, doing karaoke, you sing Sweet Caroline on kind of a vacation, getting away from I guess some of the pressures of the world. What next?
So I came back, and I had just finished an interim president role with our company, and I've been with our company for 11 years, and it's a mortgage company, and we bought a bank, and they asked me to be the chief mortgage operations officer, and then soon after
That's a big deal, by the way.
I have a mug in my cup that says "You're a pretty big deal."
It's a big mug. It says "boss."
Something like that. So then because of changes with leadership, they asked me to be the interim president, and I said no, I don't want to be. They said, no, you're going to be the interim president. I said, okay, as long as I can go back to what I was doing. So the interim role as president was crazy. It was supposed to be short term, and for 3 to 6 months, and it lasted over a year.
Wow.
So I was ready to get back, and then there were some medical issues that came up, and I had. It's just crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy life. you know, I had 2 diagnoses or 2.5 diagnoses of Parkinson's,
Wow.
early stages, but I'm fine. I am absolutely fine. The other half is, well, maybe it is and maybe it isn't,
Mhm.
but you know, I'm living life now, and I didn't do that. All I did was work.
Yeah. So this is like a refound passion.
This is you know, I call it, actually our marketing person came up with back to my passion.
Yeah.
So
Is that what the first name of your channel was? Did it always start out as the car karaoke guy in Texas?
No, it was actually back to the passion. But I listen, I wasn't planning on posting anything to social media.
Yeah.
That was an afterthought.
Okay.
My one of my employees, her name is Jolene Crozier, and she's been with me for 20 plus years. She saw the video and she said, "Jeff, you need to post this stuff on social media." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because you're a singer." I said, "Why? You know, I don't know." So I posted it, and it just went nuts. And then
on TikTok or TikTok?
TikTok.
Did you put it on
have
TikTok?
TikToks.
Yeah, that's the New York TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok or Instagram first, or was it both at the same time?
I think I signed up for both at the same time. And then
and when did you get started before you go into any of your metrics?
So it's been 60 days.
60 days, ladies and gentlemen.
60 days. And, you know, I looked at analytics the other day, and I don't look at numbers all the time, but it was yesterday. And I think on TikTok alone, I've had almost 20 million views. And,
Wow.
you know, TikTok is different than Instagram. And I think
Absolutely.
there were 42,000 followers. And there's a whole bunch of people waiting in the wings for me to follow, but I maxed out at 10,000 that I can follow.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that the most people that you can follow on TikTok is 10,000. And if you could, I think you would be following back every single person that followed you.
I do. I think I you know, I want to connect with them, and I just feel bad that I can't follow them. And so I've got decisions to make, whether I stay on TikTok and just go to Instagram.
Yep.
But then Instagram, you know, it was 3 weeks ago. I was at 9,000.
When we first started talking, you were around 9,000. I'm like, this guy is awesome. He's car karaoke. I love what he's doing, and let's see if I can connect with him. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But then all of a sudden,
It's over 300,000 and maybe more in 3 weeks. And it's just, I think, you know, honestly, I think there's a connection there because of, first of all, COVID. But I think people are locked up, or not locked up, but they're in their homes and they can't get out. And, you know, I'm a 70s guy, music. I was born in the 60s, and I know the 60s music, and I know the 70s music and 80s music, and now 90s maybe not so much, but, you know, I will tell you, I will repeat what Barry Manilow, you know, he's a New York guy. He says, where's the melody? So, and you don't hear these guys' songs on the radio anymore. Billy Joel or Elton or Barry or Neil Diamond. I mean, they have gorgeous songs that you don't hear anymore. And I thought, well, maybe I could put a message out there and sing these songs. And I don't have a recording studio. I sing in my car. So that is the birth of the car karaoke guy in Texas. I sing. We have a big house in Texas, and it's old house, and my wife has almost every room in the house, and
which is why you are relegated to the car.
And it's okay. It's okay, and it's a I guess I can say it's a Mercedes, and it's an SUV, and the acoustics in it are amazing. So I record in my car. I put a camera here and I put a camera there, and then I play the music, and hopefully something comes out, or there may be a song that I have to take 20 takes on because it's so emotional. I can't get through it. This is an outlet, and there's been a couple of naysayers. Out of the millions of people, I've had a couple of naysayers, and I don't care what they think. I'm going to continue to do it because I'm getting messages. I got a message from a New York hospital saying, "You're our mascot."
I saw that. Yeah, unbelievable. So reach versus impact, and I think you've definitely got both down, because every comment that I'm reading is filled with positivity. And I know that there are naysayers out there, and we all have to deal with them in one way or another. I always try to reach back out to them with positivity, and I'm sure you're the same. I don't ever see the negative comments on your page, because it's always people, borderline gushing over the work that you're doing and just how much that means to them. And it's not just Texas, right? You're in Texas, but you're in New York now. Where else have you done interviews, and where else have you traveled, and where else are you getting audience reach or membership from?
It is everywhere in the world. So I did my really first big interview with Corey Oliver, and she's this beautiful person.
Let's plug Corey.
Corey Oliver.
Yes.
She's Corey Oliver 1, and you can link her.
Absolutely. Yep.
She found me the same way you did.
Yep.
And I didn't know, I did not expect people to reach out to me.
Yep.
So I was very hesitant, because there are people reaching out wanting money.
And
so I'm like,
have you heard about cryptocurrency, sir?
Yeah, but I'm hearing from Australia, and I'm hearing from Japan, and I'm hearing from, of course I was in Germany.
Okay, you're in Germany,
but everywhere. So
it seems like the United States has lost the melody. Do you feel like, and I'll jump back, but overseas they've lost the melody, or is it mainly a U.S.?
No, I think it's a
worldwide.
I think it's a worldwide thing, and you've got, again,
you have niches, right?
You got COVID. And listen, I'm sure there's great music out there, but listen, there's. Corey asked me, she goes, how about if would you ever do your own original album? I said, why would I? There's so much great material out there.
Yeah.
And if I was asked to, I guess I could. But listen, there's a great artist, Michael Bublé.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Great singer. And he does covers too. Like, these guys are great singers.
So that's what I would want to do.
Yep.
But first,
Absolutely.
top of the list is Barry Manilow. I have always had a connection with Barry, and I've met Barry a few times, and I've worked with Barry's band on some stuff. I'm working with one of his musicians. His name is Joey Milani.
Okay.
Now, I think Joey is from this area, but Joey not only has worked with Barry Manilow, but he's also worked with Michael Bolton and the late Luther Vandross and Michael Jackson and so I guess we need to do a little backstory. Joey posted something, and he needed sponsorships to do a record, a CD. So I said, maybe I'll do something. And I wasn't expecting anything in return. So we've always had a connection. And when Barry comes to town, we try to connect and say hi to each other. So I reached out to Joey. I said, Joey, here's what I'm thinking. I need someone to make me some tracks. He said, for what? I said, well, I guess I can sing now. And I went to the karaoke bars, and I already had Sweet Caroline already done. But I really wanted a pro to do them. So I told him the story, and he said, why don't you fly out to Las Vegas? So I flew out to Las Vegas, and he has a studio there.
Wow.
And then we talked a little more, and then he started playing this track. And then all of a sudden I started singing to it, and he stops, and he says, whoa. I said, what?
Yeah.
What's wrong? He says, we've got something. We've got something here. I said, what? He says, you can really sing. I said, well, okay, Joey, now I'm paying you to do tracks. You don't have to be nice and say that. And he said, no. He said, let's do something else. So he started playing this. I have in my mind this Frank Sinatra's My Way. And he came up with this beautiful slowed down version. We tested it, and I think at the second time, he was like, you have range.
Yeah.
And you have to, that is a power song. So who knows where this is going to go?
Yeah.
Wow. It's just crazy. And I talked to Joey once in a while. In fact, before the Corey Oliver interview, he called and said, I know you're doing an interview. first of all, don't change your formula, because I think at that point I was at maybe 7 million viewers, or 7 million
Total views.
views or something like that.
Yep.
He says, you don't change anything. Continue to do what you're doing. So I'm taking his advice. He's so smart and he's so kind. So I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Keeping it up.
I'm keeping it up, and if they don't like it, they don't like it. But
Awesome.
if they like it, great.
Yeah. Awesome. I think we're going to take a quick
Okay.
break that YouTube will probably put a commercial in right about now.
Great.
So, and if they don't, I'll just like strategically drop it in there. So, yeah.
All right.
All right. We'll catch
cheers.
up with everybody in just a moment.
All right. Cheers.
All right, we're back. I hope you got some awesome commercial about, I don't know, RC cars or whatever it is that you're into, that YouTube knows that you're into. So they gave you a commercial on it.
Maybe Range Rover, you know.
It
or
might
Mercedes.
be a Range Rover, it might
Yeah.
be a Mercedes based on the content of this. So you mentioned you're in the mortgage industry. Tell me about how long you've been in the mortgage industry.
So I have been in the banking mortgage world
Yep.
for almost 38 years now.
Wow.
So this has been my career right out of high school.
So you've seen a lot of changes,
Uh,
big like macro changes.
One thing we didn't touch on is why did you take the interim role for
Yeah, how
the
did that
company?
come about?
Well, our owner decided to run for governor of Oklahoma,
Oh,
and his name is Kevin Stitt.
okay.
And he's doing a fantastic job, and he's changing Oklahoma, and he is the nicest guy ever. When he won the election, his top guy, his name is Hobie, and Hobie is Hobie. Just think of the name Hobie.
Yeah.
He's just a party guy, but he's fantastic. He's all about culture, and we just love Hobie. And he came up to me and he says, this is so emotional. He says, "You're the reason why Kevin is up on that stage." I said, "What?" He said, "When you came on, you changed our company. You doubled our production."
Wow.
And from there, it just exploded, and I had no idea the impact that we made.
So you mentioned you were in Germany recently. You were in Germany. What were you doing there? I saw you were, hanging out at Mercedes, hanging out at the Marriott there.
Well, it wasn't a Mercedes, so that's a whole different story.
Okay.
So, 20 years ago, we hosted a foreign exchange student.
Okay.
And
Okay.
normally, foreign exchange students, they come for the year, and you never hear from them again. Never. But this was different. His name is Matt. I call him my son, Matt. And I have two biological kids, Nicholas and Tyler. They're just awesome kids. And Matt came to us, and he stayed for the year, and we just had this connection. And he did not have a good relationship with his dad at all. And as soon as he returned from the States, his dad died.
Oh my gosh.
And he's always considered me to be his, now in Germany, Papa. So in Germany, it's his dad. So we have been there to Germany, and he's come here, and then he got married. And then, I guess 6 weeks ago, he sent me a photo and said, "When are you going to come see your grandson?"
And you're like,
And well, we knew we couldn't travel because of COVID.
Yeah.
But when he sent that, the next day I booked a flight and I went to Germany.
Awesome.
Now, first of all, the luggage was filled with toys because I was going to spoil him. His name is Raphael, and he's 2.5. And I was only going to stay a week. And we started bonding, and I said, "I can't leave now." So I stayed an additional week. And with COVID, you can work from anywhere now.
Yes, you can.
With technology. So I stayed an extra week, and it's just an incredible family. And Raphael is so smart. He's 2.5, and he speaks 3 different languages.
He's putting
I can't even
me as a
speak Texan.
monophile, or whatever you call us,
Yeah.
Anglophile.
So he speaks English, German, and French.
Wow.
So his parents are amazing, and I think of them as my kids. And I spoiled my kids, and I went over there and spoiled those kids because I had to. But it was an amazing trip. So I already have my next trip booked for the end of October, and my wife can go now.
Awesome.
So
Is it pretty easy to get in and out of Germany?
yes, now it is.
Okay.
As long as you show proof of vaccination. Listen, and I'm not. Listen, I'll tell you, I'm not pushing the agenda.
No.
So if you get hate email or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm not responsible for COVID, and I didn't push it. I'm not pushing the shot. But it's the only way you can get into it.
If you do have some hate mail, please feel free to share this video and subscribe to both of our channels first and tell everybody how much you hate us.
Yes, please. It's okay. Honestly,
Watch some ads.
listen, I've come to the conclusion. Honestly, I don't care what people think anymore.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't either. I mean, you do a great show. I've seen your shows, and you're a real person. But I sang a song for someone that passed away, a family member that passed away, and I was responsible because I sang a song and I was responsible for COVID. That makes no sense to me. So that person did get deleted because that's just stupid. Yeah. It's a crazy world, and I think that's why the social media for me has exploded, because there's that connection. And when I get in that car, I'm just a totally different person. I think you've seen that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's just, I can't even explain it. It's a different character. So actually, I my wife and I tease, but she's called me the new Jeff 2.0 because it's a whole different life, and I'm on different medications now, and listen, I wasn't so doped up. It wasn't bad, but these doctors had me on so many different medications because of Parkinson's.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit? I know we talked about this before, so for folks out there, I'm not just a jerk prodding about medical history, but if you're open to it, share a little bit about Parkinson's.
Yes.
I think it's important for other people to know.
So the first diagnosis I had, the bedside manner of the doctor was horrible. He said, "Yeah, you're in the early stages of Parkinson's." I said, and I was by myself. He says, I asked him, I said, "Well, what does this mean?" He says, "Well, why don't you just go to the Michael J. Fox website?" Well, what does that? And I love Michael J. Fox, but Michael J. Fox has he's really severe. I mean, he's got a severe case.
It seems like them saying go to WebMD and diagnose yourself.
Good, and trust me, I do that a lot.
Yeah.
But so I just sat there, and then I went in my car and I just cried because I didn't know what does it mean. So I called my doctor, who's just been fantastic, and he said, "Let's get another opinion." So we got another opinion, and he said that he was much better. He said, "Here's what can happen, but you know what? It's not a death sentence, and it's not. Parkinson's is not a death sentence." I mean, if you look at me, I'm 86. I'm really not 86, but I just turned 56. But to me, it just changed my life. It's a new life. But those two doctors had me on so many different medications. I was not Jeff. And even though I was running the company and everything was going great, everybody loved Jeff Schmittman in the company. I was ready to jump. I was ready to leave.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that with Hobie and Whitney. And Whitney is another a character at our company. And our owner Kevin Stitt. They were just fantastic people, and they care, and we all care about each other.
Hey. Over there.
So breakfast has arrived. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Breakfast. Thank you. Appreciate it. Breakfast has arrived. I think we're going to take another quick break, and then we'll come back and give you a little bit more. If you're wondering, I have French toast. It looks delicious.
And I have eggs Benedict with crab. It looks amazing, and yours looks amazing. So.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. All right, we're back. We decided we're so hungry and we're anxious to chat with you that you're going to see us eating
It looks fat. Did you tell them where we're at?
Yeah, we're at Tribeca's Kitchen. We got Angie here. Who else is on staff that's been just fantastic for us?
Philip.
Yep.
I mean, it's just we were here yesterday, and Angie recognized. She said her husband has heard of me, and she started saying my favorite song is Copacabana. So guess what? I know that song. So we sang that and did a little video. So maybe you'll see it.
So I heard I saw this video on your channel. You did like a remix, and it was different than the other music that I feel like you traditionally do. Can you give us a little background about that song and why you did it, and all that kind of stuff?
So in regards to music, listen, I am not a trained musician. You and I have talked about that. I am not a trained musician at all. But I've always had this connection, and I said this earlier, with Barry Manilow. And listen, this guy, either you hate him or you love him. This guy knows music, just like Neil Diamond and Billy Joel. Listen, there's nobody off the list. I have a list. And there's nobody off the list. And Billy Joel and Elton John, and of course I've done some Michael Bublé, but there's this huge catalog of music. But I know Manilow. He did this CD in the 80s or 90s, and it's called The Summer of '78. And it's these songs that surrounded his songs. But then he had them he had some of them redone, and I think it was I'd Really Love to See You Tonight. But there's this remix, and I thought, well, I wonder if I could do this, and I just go into character, and it just felt right. People loved it, so I will certainly try different songs and different things that feel good, and if they don't feel good, I won't do them. I'll get in there, and like I said earlier, I'll sing a song, and it may take 20 takes because I can't get through it because it's so sad. But or I'm thinking about somebody. In fact, someone sent me a post and said, "What are you thinking about when you're singing?" I said, "It could have been my dad. It could have been someone who lost someone. I just found out that one of my customers passed away, and they've got 4 girls. And
oh my gosh!
So when I sing something like that, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about something.
Yeah, something real.
Something real.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's real.
See, I'll let you take a bite, and I'll chat while I'm not taking a bite. Next topic is Barry Manilow. You want to talk a little bit more about him, and anything specific that you want everybody to know about your connection with him, songs, music.
So, again, I remember standing in line, waiting for albums to come out at Tower Records when he had a release. I remember standing in lines, and a lot of if you're a fan of Lowe's, you stood in line for concert tickets. Now you don't have to do that anymore. And now, I've met him on several occasions, and he is just the nicest, genuine guy you can ever meet. He was so kind. And the last time I met him was a few years ago in Dallas, and where people are like, oh, his show once, he's not selling out. This show, he sold out. And it was a full house. I mean, it was crazy.
I think that just kind of points to people are hungry for the melody, for music, something that makes them feel.
Yeah, you feel. How can you say Mandy is a horrible song? Listen, Mandy isn't originally his, and on Corey's show, Corey Oliver's show. Her producer mentioned something about, it was about his boyfriend Andy. I said, no, that's not correct. He didn't even write Mandy. It was originally Brandy. And it was a rock and roll song in the early 70s, and it was like, oh, Brandy, where you came and you gave without taking. But he just totally rearranged it, and that was his first hit ever. He does these arrangements, and what catches you are the key changes. and I noticed this on a Neil Diamond, and I think we're going to do. I think we're going. He doesn't know this yet. He doesn't know this yet, but I think we're going to do the song.
All right.
It's Sweet Caroline, but it's a live version from Neil Diamond, and Neil Diamond now adds a key change to Sweet Caroline, and it just changes the song. It makes it more exciting.
And I like that he does. Some would say it's excessive. Multiple key changes. And from a music theory standpoint, that just like intensifies the emotion. That's typically what it's used for.
But it just makes the song feel better. I mean, when it starts from here and goes to here, and again, Barry has range, and that's what Joey said. Jeff, you have that range too.
Tell me your top 3 songs you just love singing or love listening to. If you were alone on a desert island, you would want these 3 songs with you.
Well, I would say artists. How about artists?
Artists is fine. We'll give you that.
I would probably say Barry is at the top of the list. Neil Diamond. You know, I think I've heard Neil Diamond, and my mom liked Neil Diamond. And I listened to him when I was growing up. But I don't know if, you know, he was just diagnosed with Parkinson's, and he's done touring. And which is a shame because he's so talented.
Yeah, yes he is.
But for me, it seems like there's a connection. So when I hear his songs now, it moves me. I mean, I did a little piece of September Morn, and just listening to that song is, listen, you'll never hear this stuff on the radio anymore, and that's a shame. And like I say in my video, I'm happy to bring it back. And this stuff should be brought back. There are some Celine Dion, or I guess you can't leave me at 3. Celine is gorgeous and amazing. Michael Bublé. Oh, we didn't talk about Richard Marx either. So I did have COVID. Yeah. I had my shots.
Same here.
Okay.
Shots,
yeah,
COVID. In case anybody's wondering.
Yeah, cheers.
We're all healthy, thank God.
We're probably the healthiest people on the planet. I knew Richard Marx in the 80s, but then I listened to these songs that I didn't know he wrote. Did you know that he wrote Josh Groban's To Where You Are?
No. No.
He did.
Wow.
And he wrote Luther Vandross' Dance With My Father. But then he wrote this, there's a song that I talked about it on Corey's interview. He wrote this song, Not in Love. And it's so beautiful, but I was in the mood to rewrite it, and I've never rewritten a song. But I rewrote it as Still in Love. And I went through and changed some words. And I've kind of rewrote it, and I think you can hear it on Instagram, but you can't hear it on TikTok, vice versa. I don't know the rules on how that works.
Sounds like you transformed it enough and gave attribution to the point where it's okay to have it on there.
I think it's on Instagram. But Richard Marx, man, that guy, he's amazing. So you just can't limit me to 3.
Okay.
I've got 4 or 5 or 6. And
Fine.
then you got Frank Sinatra. And, you know, again, you're in New York.
Yep.
In fact, I did a little Frank Sinatra song, and someone sent me a text or an instant message saying Frank would be proud of that song. I think it was, I can't even remember the name of it.
You've been in New York now for a couple days, and you've probably had some more interesting New York experiences by virtue of us being able to drive around a little bit, coming in at strange hours. I always ask people to tell me a New York City either parking story or just a New York City story that's of interest. It's kind of a cliche story.
Well, I'll tell you 2 stories. Now, one would be for Germany. So I went to Germany, and you know they make Mercedes in Germany. I couldn't find a Mercedes, so I had to rent the A brand Audi. Okay. Which is, again, they're fantastic, but I'm so familiar with Mercedes. And I was recording outside the hotel, and there's this. It's close to, you know, I was in Bonn, Germany, where Beethoven was born. Yes. So there's tourists. So these people were standing outside my window as I was recording, and I think I was doing Hello Again from Neil Diamond.
Okay.
So I think you'll see me looking, and I have to look back. And so I finished the song, and I go out. I said, "Hey, is everything okay?" And they said, "We just wanted to stand here and listen to it because it was so beautiful."
Oh.
And I was just like, again, I don't know what it is. I'm just doing what I think is
That's
right.
awesome.
And then a New York story. Now I will tell you, this wasn't a pleasant story. So I went to the airport. First of all, my first flight was canceled. I had to get to the other airport in Dallas and take.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Southwest Airlines.
I didn't realize you went to a different airport
Yes.
in Dallas also.
Well, so there's DFW
Yes.
and there's Lowfield.
Yep.
So someone reached out. Miss Bila reached out to me from South Africa, and she wanted to do an interview.
Mhm.
And during the interview, I started receiving messages from the A airline and saying, "Your flight's canceled. We're booking you here, and you got to be at the airport at this time." And I'm like, I haven't even started packing yet, and I'm an hour away from DFW.
Mm-hmm.
West, and I got in, I don't know, at 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
and I ordered an Uber.
Mm-hmm.
And
Into LaGuardia, right?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to the spot, and of course I was tired, and they say, "Look at the license plate number." The guy says, "Hey, I'm your Uber driver, and I'm here to pick you up." I said, "Okay, great. All right." So
Yes, I am friendly Uber driver.
yeah, friendly Uber driver, very friendly. Well, he wasn't an Uber driver. So we get to the airport. I said, "Well, I need to pay you through my app." He said, No, just give me your credit card." I said,
Huh?
"No, I got to do it." He said, No, I'm going to do it through here. This is easier. Well, he wasn't an Uber driver. He was just I got the receipt after he left. He was a taxi driver, and I think he overcharged.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fine. I mean, it's one of those things. It's lesson learned. It's an experience.
It's definitely an experience. It's probably happened to a lot of New Yorkers and non-New Yorkers. I know it's happened to my family members before, where they go to the airport and they think it's their cab at 1 a.m. and they're tired and not feeling well or whatever else, and then you just get in the wrong one, and then they try to overcharge you. So anybody that's coming into New York City, be very cautious about which car you step into at the airport, and make sure it's your Uber or that it is a yellow taxi cab. Otherwise, it's a livery cab, and technically they can't just pick people up off the street. They have to be called and hailed.
And remember we kind of talked about this, and you said, "Jeff, you need to be careful. You could have been mugged and kidnapped and everything."
You don't know.
And and again, the guy was parked where I was going, and it was the letter J. It was a Mercedes. Okay,
Yeah.
he's there.
Yeah, it smells right. It
smells
passes
right.
the sniff test.
Yeah. But it's another experience that you learn from. And,
It is. It's New York, and you always come out of New York with a story. If you've been here for long enough, you end up with a million stories. Well, car karaoke guy in Texas, I'm done with breakfast. You mentioned to me that you're pretty much done. I think it's time to get on the road, and you mentioned that we're going to do a little bit of singing today.
I know you're a singer. I know you're a
in
singer.
a past life, yes.
So I have some songs already
All right.
chosen.
I'm down for the challenge.
All right. So, car karaoke guy in Texas visiting NYC is out.
Yeah, buddy. We'll see you in the car.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So that's it, folks. That was the car karaoke guy in Texas visiting New York City. It was so awesome to have you here. I am deeply grateful that you decided to come to New York City. Let me show you around. Let me participate in your channel. What you've done with the melody and everything has just exploded, and I think it's providing so much optimism